guys, I'm Riley.
And I'm Audrey.
And welcome to the Dramatic Effect podcast, where we dive into all things film, books, Broadway, and beyond.
1 part book club, 1 part TV movie binge, and all parts drama. Tune in every Monday.
Welcome back to Dramatic Effect. I'm Riley.
I'm Audrey.
I missed Audrey.
I missed you too.
I'm so happy you're back.
Me too.
I mean, Michael was great last week.
Yeah, you guys slayed.
He's like, we were like film school 101ing that
For
shit.
sure.
Like
100%.
We really had some like academic takes, if I do say so myself.
1000%. But I loved it.
Yeah, but we haven't even talked about the show really. Like we've talked about it a little bit, but we've been saving it for the show so we can like really dig in.
Mm-hmm.
But what's been up? How's life? We need to catch up.
Oh my gosh. Life's good. Me and my friends are currently watching Love Island, and we get together. We try to get together every night to watch, but this week we decided to save it up for Sunday, so we're gonna binge tomorrow.
That's
but
fun. You have some good stuff ahead of you.
I always talk. Well, let me. So I'm really good at
in the
accent.
outside world.
No, I'm so fucking good at the accents.
Okay, do it.
Okay. He's not necessarily my type on paper, but you know, we have great chat and we get along very well. But I think that he just doesn't really like me as much as I like him, and it's just, you know, we just have great banter. Do you know?
Are you on job?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's just, you know, it just might not be there completely, but it's early days. So you never know. I literally love it.
I'm so excited to cut that into a TikTok. That's gonna be great.
It's not even that good. Like usually I'm really a lot better.
I was mouthing to you on paper. Type on paper.
He's not necessarily my type on paper, but it's just we have great chat. We get on. But you know, I don't know where it's gonna go. I don't know if we would work in the outside world. He might not like my mum. I don't know if my mum would love him, but you know, we'll figure it out.
He's proper fit.
He is proper fit. He is so fit. I'm just obsessed.
Are you closed off?
5 minutes.
Are you closed off?
You know, I wouldn't say I'm 100% closed off. I'm not settled yet. I'm definitely not settled, but you know, I really think I'm not going to find anyone else with quite as much chat as he has, or as fit as he is. Do you know what I mean? I think that he's really just my type, and we really get on. So I think I'll be settled soon. Just need to make sure we're on the same page of the paper.
I'm dead. Nailed it. Okay, but my take real quick on Will.
Yeah.
He thinks he's Austin Powers.
Oh, I've never seen Austin Powers.
I'm aging myself. Like he literally makes jokes like, "Oh, baby."
He does.
Like that's Austin
he
Powers.
references Austin Powers
baby.
a lot, but like I've never seen it.
I hate this. He's always doing like gyrating things. I'm like, that's disgusting.
Gross.
Not me doing them, to show you.
Especially with like the sound effects of the couch.
Yeah, great show.
Love Will, but what he did to Jesse was so messed up.
So messed up.
And I'm just waiting to see if he fucks up again. Hope he doesn't. I'm not looking at you so that you don't give me any spoilers.
Don't tell you anything.
Okay, good.
I'm in love with Tom though. Like I would pay to watch him and Sammy hook up. I think they're the hottest couple ever.
That is so funny because my friends think the same thing, as in the guys. Like the boys that I'm watching Love Island with, they think he is the hottest guy ever. I'm like, I don't see it.
What?
I don't think he's that hot at all. I would quite literally never touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Interesting.
I don't think he's that hot at all. There's not really any guy. Oh wait, Casey. That's my type.
That's your type on paper.
Casey is very much my type on paper. So Casey, if you see this TikTok and you're not with what's her name?
Claudia
anymore. If you're not with her anymore, I don't know how the show ends or if you guys are together or whatever. You can hit me up at Audrey Challenger on Instagram and TikTok.
I feel like we're going to hear from Casey.
Should we hear from Casey?
Casey, call us.
Call me, Casey.
Well,
so call me, Casey. Casey is the one that I think is the hottest.
Interesting. He to me seems like he's like on a boys trip. Like he's not there to find love. He's not there for the right reasons. They don't really say the right reasons on Love Island. Like they don't question people's motives as much.
Yeah, they don't. So the reason why I was gone is because I went on a brand trip with Vivrel and we went to Houston for basically the Houston rodeo. But the reason why we went there is because Vivrel is doing this new thing with the Four Seasons where essentially when you stay at a Four Seasons, they're starting it in Houston and LA. When you stay there, they're going to have a curated bag collection from Vivrel there. So you get a complimentary bag or, multiple bags during your stay.
Oh my God.
So like if you're going out to dinner, you can go grab a Chanel and take it with you and then bring it back. And
I'm obsessed
so
with that.
it's complimentary with your stay at the Four Seasons. And then, so the Four Seasons in Houston is actually the largest Four Seasons in the U.S. So that's why they had it at the Four Seasons in Houston. So it was super fun.
Wow. I mean, the rodeo looks sick too.
I had the best time ever at the Houston rodeo. No, I'm not kidding. I love carnivals. Fun fact about me is I literally am obsessed with carnivals. My mom, when we would drive when I was, like 4, she would try to avoid driving past carnivals because I would always scream and cry that I wanted to go to the carnival.
Oh my God.
I love
You're a carny girl.
No, I literally am obsessed with them. Like if I go to heaven and it doesn't look like a carnival, I'm leaving. Like I don't want to be there. I know it's like so psycho, but I literally just
Why?
I love rides.
Okay.
I'm not really into the games or anything, but I love rides. I love fried food. I love funnel cake, fried Oreos.
Wait, did they have fried butter?
I don't know.
I've always wanted to try fried butter because I'm just so curious about the logistics of it.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Like, is it just funnel cake like covered in melted butter?
No, it's fried butter. It's probably a stick of butter, battered, fried.
But like, does it melt when you fry it?
No, probably not because it's in the batter. It's frying the batter, not the butter. But it might
get like warm in there.
Yeah,
it's gonna get toasty
warm.
in there.
It's gonna toasty. It's gonna probably get softer, but I don't think it would melt because then also, that wouldn't make sense.
Maybe the butter's frozen when they put it in. I'm getting really into logistics of this fried butter, but like I've always wondered.
I'm dead. But no, didn't have any fried butter. Didn't actually have any of the other fried food, honestly. I was just worried about the rides.
Yeah.
But also at the Houston Rodeo, they have like a ton of bars surrounding the carnival and as well as the rodeo. And then there's also like a livestock show where you can see all of the animals. And then there's the actual rodeo itself where people are riding bulls, horses, wrestling calves.
That's
all
what
that
I want
stuff.
to see.
Not my vibe.
It's weird.
Not my vibe. I don't love that, but it was.
Well,
I mean,
so the
it's
rodeo,
the culture.
The rodeo in theory like sounds so fun, but I was talking to my parents. They went to a rodeo on the 4th of July. They live out in Idaho, and they had all these fun pictures from it. I'm like, the rodeo looked awesome. They're like, no, a guy like almost died and it was traumatic.
No, it's
and
really
like,
scary. Like these are scary sports that I don't really understand why they do. I don't understand the point of it.
Couldn't be.
And I also feel a little bad for the animals. So didn't love that, but loved the rides.
The rides. What's your favorite
and the
ride?
bars. The bars were so fun.
Wait, I love that.
My favorite ride, probably like the claw that goes like around and up. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Like,
I like rides to an extent, but I get so motion sick that like it'll do me in pretty quickly.
Yeah, I knock on wood, I don't get motion sickness.
You're a lucky girl. I mean, you were saying you did your makeup in the car.
Yeah, I did my makeup in the car on the way here.
Never. Oh, I'm like nauseous
so
just thinking about it. I'm literally nauseous thinking about it.
That's so funny.
But you're just God's favorite. It's fine.
Thanks, Riley.
God likes you
But
better.
no, for some reason I don't get super motion sick or car sick at all.
Yeah.
So rides, I just love the adrenaline. I just love the adrenaline rush. It makes me so happy and so joyful. I feel like a kid when I'm on those rides and stuff. I think the reason why I love carnivals as well is because I just love amusement parks in general. So they're kind of obviously a smaller amusement park.
Do you like Disney World? Like, are you
I've
Disney gal?
only ever been to Disney World once.
Okay.
It was fine. I think I was in 3rd grade. I don't really remember that much. But when I was growing up, my swim team every year, we would go to Hershey Park at the end of the season.
That's so PA,
Yeah.
you guys.
Oh my God. If you have you ever been to Hershey Park?
I've never been. It's so far from where. I mean, it's like we're in like
But
Harrisburg.
it's in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Oh, duh.
But it's near like Lancaster kind of. But it is the best place ever.
I'll have to go.
I'm obsessed with Hershey Park because it's also so clean. Like that's what my mom always said. She was like, I like you going to Hershey Park better than going to something like Six Flags or Dorney Park because it's just a lot cleaner, nicer.
Right.
It feels safer. It's just so great. Oh, so
I'll have
much
to
fun.
go.
I need to go this summer. I'm gonna go to Hershey Park.
I have
this
little
summer.
cousins, so maybe they go a lot. Maybe I'll go with them next
You
time.
should.
I'll
No,
check
it
out.
really is so fun.
I don't know why this is so weird, but like when you said it's clean, I don't know why I've always pictured it not being clean because
Oh my God,
picture the
Hershey
color brown.
Park?
No, because I picture the color brown.
Oh,
It's like
I guess
weirdest
so.
color association.
that makes sense. See, that's funny because when I think of Six Flags, I see that green and I just imagine it like,
Six Flags is definitely not clean.
yeah. No, Hershey Park is so clean.
Wow.
So nice.
Noted.
Yeah, you should go
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
for sure.
Well, I was skiing while you were in Houston.
Yes. How was that?
It was
How was Park City, Deer Valley?
It
You
was
were at the
good.
St. Regis.
It was good. Yeah, we went to St. Regis, did a ski shot, and I turned to the people I was with. I was like, guys, that shot was so good. I didn't even have to use a chaser. And they're like, oh, okay. We watched the video back. First thing I do, chug a chaser. They're like, didn't even need a chaser, huh? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
You're like, no, I fully
No,
did.
wait, guys, I had a straw. You don't even know, like, barely any came out. Like, I was so trying to save myself. And I was like,
Oh
okay,
my God.
there's no coming back here. But it was like the craziest amount of snow.
Oh yeah, it was snowing so much there.
Like nonstop. And the first day we were at Alta, which is like, you ski. Like, it's not St. Regis, like Deer
Mhm.
Valley, like après fun type skiing. It's like you're skiing. And I went head first into like, I want to say 100 feet of snow, but it was like a lot of snow. It was like, 15 feet of snow, but like it.
So you just went head first into it?
I went head first. I was probably like a foot under. My whole family was in front of me. I lost both my skis. I like popped out of the snow. Like I felt like I was coming out of the water. Like,
Wait, but so I've never skied before.
Okay.
So when that happens, does the snow help your fall?
yes. Oh, 100%.
Okay, so like you
The
don't
fluffier
get
the snow. Like it didn't hurt. You
Okay.
do feel like you're falling into like pillows. If there's a
Got
rock in there, that's another story. Or like it's like icy.
That's so scary.
Like that can hurt. But like this was the type of snow that like it was just like up to our waist. Like I went head first and my skis just like popped right off and I kind of did a little tumble.
Yeah.
And I just spent like another 20 minutes like looking for my skis and I was like, I hate my life.
Oh my God.
But
That's awful.
yeah, no, but then the rest of the trip was good. I bought a jacket, which I was really excited about.
Ooh, what kind of jacket?
It's like a Bogner brown jacket, and it's kind of like shimmery. Bogner's more of like a ski brand. But
Got it. I was gonna say, I was like, I don't know
there's a
that
store
brand, but
called
it's probably super cool.
Gorsuch, which is like this like really nice ski store. And I like was not planning on buying anything. I have never been gassed up more in my life. These women in the store like were like, you have, and they didn't even work there. Like
Wait,
they
that's
were just
so
like, other
funny.
patrons.
Love.
And they're like, you have to buy this jacket. And
I
was
mean,
like,
it must be a showstopper.
So, if you say so.
Obsessed.
But I have never witnessed this man who was like shopping with his girlfriend was so rude to the store clerk. And I have actually never witnessed something so uncomfortable in my life. So the store clerk's here. I'm here. And the man is here with his girlfriend. And he basically was like, hey, do you have any other hats in the back of the store? Like the palm on this hat is just like not fluffy enough. And she was like, all our inventory is like out. I don't think we have any hats. And he just goes, I feel like you have a really shitty fucking attitude and I'm not someone that you want to mess with. And I'm standing in between them like,
What?
and like I could just, she was probably like, I think she said she was like 60. Like she was this beautiful older woman, like silver hair. And like I could feel like see her face get like hot and red. She looked like she was gonna cry. And then I felt like I was gonna cry. And the girlfriend was like not like backing him, but just kind of like slowly walked away. Like she was complicit in it. The worst part though is that he didn't let up. He just was like, I'm not someone you want to mess with. It's like, dude. who cares?
At that point,
Like-
I'm just like, wow, how small is your dick?
No, literally, he was
Literally.
peacocking. Like I just kept saying he was
so
peacocking.
sorry.
Like,
Ew.
it was-
Literally, that's so gross.
It was crazy. I just was like, my mouth was agape. I was, like,
I
who
was
acts that
agog.
way?
I am aghast.
I'm aghast.
His
Yes,
mouth
in
is
love
not
at last.
No, literally.
But
But
literally.
that's absurd. Ew, I fucking
Yeah.
hate people like that. I can't stand it. I can't stand rude people. I was actually
No.
saying that to somebody last night. I met one of my followers. She was so sweet. And I was chatting with her, and there were some people that were pushing past us. And like, you know, just you're in a crowded bar, obviously that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But they were just like shoving, and I was like, and that makes me so upset. I'm like,
I get
you have
fired
two words. Excuse me. Use them. Fucking use them when you are walking through a bar. I say excuse me to the point where it's like annoying. I'm like,
Yeah.
excuse me, sorry, just
Oh, can I
scooching
just get
past
your-
you. Just
excuse
sorry.
me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't shut the fuck up because I don't want somebody to feel like I'm intruding on their space or like being rude.
Right.
Because that's all it takes. And these bitches were just fucking.
It's these
I'm
entitled
like,
people.
I'm gonna kill you.
No, I hate
it makes me
it.
so upset.
Oh my God.
I hate entitled rude people.
I love that.
And
Excuse me. It's 2 words. It's simple.
2 words, and you can just repeat it over and over and over and over and over until you get to the place that you want to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
So
that's my little
speaking
rant
of
for the day.
rude people, I'm trying to find a segue, but I don't. Are there rude people in Daisy Jones and the Six? Perhaps Billy.
Yeah, he's
He's-
kind of rude.
He's a moody boy.
He is moody, but
All right, so let's jump in because we haven't even discussed 1 through 3. Like
yeah.
I gave you my opinion that
Mhm.
episode 1 I was like ugh. 2 and 3 kind of started getting a little more into it, letting go of my book version, just accepting this for what it is versus like wanting it to be the book, which like I think that's what
yeah.
you need to do when it's any book adaptation. Like I'm so not the person to be like the book was better, but I don't know.
I don't think that necessarily the book was better. It's just that the book was different. And in some ways, the show is better. There's some things that make a little bit more sense that we'll touch on later.
Yeah,
But overall, it's just different.
it's just different.
Yeah.
So I think like cheesy is a word we've used a lot, but at the same time, like there's definitely a lot of entertainment value there. Like I'm entertained.
Absolutely.
I feel like the music has grown on me a little.
I found myself singing Honeycomb.
Yep.
And I was like, fuck, I thought I hated that song.
No, 100%.
Because,
totally that type
I
of
mean,
song.
did you guys talk about last time how that song is giving country vibes?
Well, no, but you and I talked about
Yes.
that. Michael and I didn't talk about that. What we did talk about actually was how I think Fleetwood Mac technically started as like a folk band.
That
So
would make sense.
I think it's interesting that maybe and Mumford, I'm blanking on his first name, but of Mumford and Sons was like one of the like writers on this album and producers.
Got it.
And I feel like that he's obviously a folk vibe. So maybe that's like where they were drawing from in that. But yes, it feels, a lot of the songs feel very country.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's hard then when they're like, well, that's rock and roll. I'm like, this like isn't rock and roll though. Like, I don't know. It's just not giving that vibe.
No, totally.
So I'm like, that's a little bit hard to believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's the music I do like. It's growing on me, but
it's catchy music.
Yes, it is. And maybe that's what they were going for because then it, draws hype to the show if the songs are doing well.
100%.
And I think that probably a more folky country sound does better in today's age than hard rock.
Yeah,
So
no, it's true. And we've had such great discourse on our TikTok. Like,
yes, we
I
have.
really loved reading everyone's commentary.
Mhm.
And what I love so much about it is like, it's such like civilized debate.
Yes.
Like everyone is like having their opinion, but no one's like getting mad at other people for their opinion. Like people are just respectfully agreeing or disagreeing. But a really frequent comment we've had is that like they're making Daisy kind of this like flower child type girl, whereas like Stevie Nicks / Daisy is more like, well, okay, Stevie Nicks is somewhere in between because she's like witchy.
She is
and
witchy.
then there's Daisy who was like edgier. And we haven't had that it girl factor at all.
Yeah, no.
Maybe now we'll get more of it now that she's like in the band and that's when she becomes the it girl. But that was kind of like part of it was like she got those Halstead jumpsuits.
Yeah.
And she was cool before this band.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's tough because I just don't know if they just wanted to make her different in the show.
Yeah.
Than she is in the book, but she is totally different in the show than she is in the book. And they are making her that flower child. What?
I don't know. There's something floating around my drink.
Uh-oh. That's not great. But yeah, they're making her more of this wistful flower child who's just hopelessly in love with this guy who's taken.
Can we talk about the interviews?
What?
They are garbage, waste of space to the whole story, not necessary.
Well, they're not necessary and they're poorly done.
Yeah.
They don't look like an actual interview. I feel like what they should have done is filmed this on film because it's digital,
That's
right?
what you were saying, yeah.
So they should have filmed it on film and the interviews should have been on a different camera.
Yes, I love that because then you see the contrast of like, this whole story is a flashback. So you would see I love that take.
Yeah, it should be on a camera that you would see in the 90s on PBS.
Yes.
That's exactly what this should look like.
Yes.
And that would make a lot more sense and it would play into the story a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But it just doesn't read. And then as well, the wigs.
Oh.
The wigs!
I know.
What is up with the fucking wigs?
It's also just like, the interviews aren't adding anything to the plot. Like,
no, they're not.
Give me a new piece of information when you cut to an interview, not supporting evidence. Like, that is, to me, so boring. You're just trying to create the structure of a documentary without actually giving it the cool effect of what a documentary is, which is you see what happened in the moment, but then you see how someone else experienced it. And then
and they're not I've only seen that maybe a few times with like Billy and Daisy, but other than that, nobody really.
I mean, but Billy and Daisy, every time they cut to their interview, they're just smiling.
They're just smiling. And she's like, well, it was that way.
She's like, it's like, we know this story goes south. We know this is a painful story. Literally.
That's what she does.
Wistful.
Yeah.
But we know this is a painful story. So by the time she's telling this, like, sure, she's healed. It's 20 years later, but it's still not like this, like, I was in love type of story. It's
it's like this is
messy.
like a fucked up, messy situation.
Yeah.
And I have to sit in an interview and talk about it.
And
Wouldn't be my favorite.
Yeah. And to people who didn't read the book, plug your ears for 2 seconds. But like to his daughter too. I don't know. Like I keep trying to like think about that. Like we don't know necessarily that Julia, they're gonna have that plot twist. But
so do we think that is she the interviewer?
In the book, she is. Like that voice you hear kind of every once in a while, that is Julia.
How the fuck would Camila agree to that?
Yeah, I don't know.
And be like, yeah, go interview the woman that your dad's in love with.
Yeah, that like emotionally cheated on. But I don't want to jump ahead too much. But
they
so let's kiss. Like
oh
we just have to. I think we have to address 2 big elephants in the room
let's
before we go in chronological order.
Yeah.
First big elephant in the room, Billy and Daisy have a passionate kiss.
Yep.
In the parking lot of the
studio. The fucking parking lot. I was like, at least put it in like Teddy's house.
Yeah.
When they're alone. It was weird. It made sense to the plot, I guess.
It made sense to the show. I'm trying to have show goggles and book goggles. And I do think like I can see how they need to give in a TV show the audience a little more than we got in the book.
For sure.
Because in the book, like things just, you have to do some like critical thinking to be like, oh, they could have maybe kissed, but they're not saying that in their interview. There's a lot maybe we don't know. Also, like, I don't know, like we don't get closure in the book, and I feel like maybe that showmakers didn't think that would read.
For sure.
But
yeah, that would definitely be a hard thing to depict on film.
Yeah.
That in the book where it's kind of a brief almost, but not quite. Obviously, you know, you can do that on film, but it reads a lot easier to actually have the kiss and then be like, oh, fuck. Oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was screaming.
I was like,
what?
wait, what? This is happening right now? Like, what?
Shocking.
But then it does make sense that, like, she's like, okay, fine, I can sing it now.
I did love that aspect. I really did. I will give that to the show. Like, I liked that there's something to the fact that, like, did he kiss her because he wanted to kiss her, or did he kiss her because he wanted her to
that's
sing
what they're
the song?
fighting about. That's what they're fighting about at the end of the episode 6.
Yeah.
And it's like, and he said, what did he say to her? He was like, well, I'm not mad about the outcome.
Yeah.
It was something like that.
Another thing about the show. I have better things to say about the show overall this time.
Mm-hmm.
Something I loved was seeing the songwriting process.
Yeah.
They, at one point, she goes, can you make the drum a little swampier? And Warren's like, that's not, like, that doesn't mean anything. And Billy comes in and just goes, oh, like, and he gives, like, the actual technical musical terms for, like, what he should be doing.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, I guess he speaks Daisy now. Like, I think that's a cool, like, oh, they're really, like, clicking into one mind. Like, they're like twin flames a little bit.
Yeah, very much so.
It's cool, like, the ways that they're showing that in the show versus the book. Because we don't get, like, a ton of the writing process in the book. We know that it happened over a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And we get the key parts where they, the first day at Teddy's and then that day they almost kiss. But there's a lot that they don't fill in for us.
Yeah,
so it's
totally.
kind of cool actually watching it play out.
Yeah, absolutely.
We start off episode 4 where they're hearing Honeycomb on the radio.
Yes.
It's
oh my God.
hit.
And did you guys realize that TikToker Kirby, do you know who that is?
I don't think so.
She's the girl driving the car when
Wait, I thought she was familiar.
Yes, so she's a TikToker and she is an actress and she was playing that role. I thought that was so
for
cool.
her.
I was like, oh my
That's
God,
great.
TikTok queen.
That
was super cool.
Love
But yeah.
the intersection of our worlds.
Yes.
So I just, when that moment happened where she hears the song and she runs to the jukebox, I had a moment where I'm like, I can't believe Daisy is a waitress.
Wait, yeah. No, that would not be a fucking thing.
No.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense.
If anything, she would just be like getting money from a guy.
I know. She'd be like a sugar baby before she'd be a waitress. 100%.
Exactly. That's 100%. Her
100%.
vibe. That's what she intrinsically would do.
Yeah.
She wouldn't be waitressing.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be like in a like feeling objectified way.
No, it would be in an empowerment way.
Yeah, like she would so casually just be a sugar baby.
Mm-hmm.
I like that take.
Yeah, I think she would be.
And finally,
let us
we
know
get
if
her.
you agree in the comments below.
Finally, we get her at the Chateau Marmont, which I was like,
Yes.
oh,
thank God.
this is Daisy. Like, we're getting into that Daisy. And I think it's also really funny that they only made $600 on that song. Did you notice that?
No.
They got their, like, royalty check in the mail, and they're like, what? And it cuts to the interview, and this is a time where, like, it kind of had, like, good value. Like, Warren in the interview was like, yeah, $600 went a long way back then.
Wait, I didn't even notice that part.
Yeah.
I must have been multitasking or something when he said that.
How do you feel about, moving into the next chunk of 3 episodes, Camila and Billy's love? Because personally, I wasn't fully feeling it in the first 3. I was just kind of like, yeah, I mean, like, she's his stable, first love, and they have a child together, so that's really powerful. But I wasn't like, she's his everything type of vibe.
I completely wholeheartedly agree. It's not giving that first love. It wasn't even in the beginning, and then it still isn't now.
Yeah.
And it's lacking there, and then it's making me be like, well, then why doesn't he just divorce her?
Yeah.
And leave her for the woman he actually has feelings for.
Right.
Because it just seems like he doesn't really even have feelings for her, especially when they're saying how much he's not sharing the music with her.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, do you even like her
at
all?
They don't spend any time together.
They don't spend any time together. They're rarely intimate. Like, there's maybe 1 or 2 scenes where they are.
We only see them be intimate when he came home from feeling guilty about the day he had just spent with Daisy.
Is that what it was? Is that it was that day? Oh, holy shit, yeah.
Like, that is the first time since she's had a child that we like get to see them be intimate. Obviously, that doesn't mean that that's the only time, but like, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh my God. Also, how about him lying about the song?
That Daisy wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lie, right?
Yeah, because
he wrote it.
Because then Daisy goes, "Oh, Billy was like doing like on another planet that day or something," and Camilla's like, "Oh, I thought you wrote this song."
Yeah, and
like,
she's
no.
like, "No, I don't know why he would say that."
Yeah.
That was awesome. When she was just like, "Yeah, I don't know why."
Sus things going on. Another change I actually really loved was when Billy and Daisy are fighting and Camila takes that picture. Like, I think that was a cool little change.
But then I'm kind of like, I don't know. She feels almost like Camila feels like this kind of like stalker freak.
Yeah, like
that's what it was giving.
She's giving woman scorned and
yes.
hysterical woman a little bit. Not hysterical. She hasn't been hysterical, but like even just like when she puts the photo down and she's like, if you love her, that's when this ends. I just don't like that line.
No.
I just don't like that line because they are just addressing too much.
They're addressing too much. I feel like it was never addressed that early on.
Yeah,
in
it was barely
the book,
addressed. The only time it was really addressed was that last show in Chicago, singing to the man I love, and Camilla's watching on. That is the only time.
And the hotel room.
Yeah,
and that's
and
it.
The hotel room.
But because that,
I don't know.
Maybe in a bookland that works, but maybe not in
TV.
A TV show that works.
You just can't in TV save, I guess, as much for the end. And that's what we kind of got.
You need more of that drama back and forth on TV.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that way.
I wish we had gotten another thing back to the kiss and Daisy being nervous and needing the confidence for the song. I wish they had done something to address the fact that like Daisy's cocky and has never had to be confident in her life.
Yes, totally. I was kind of like, wait, but like the reason why she can't sing the song isn't because she's not confident in how Billy feels about her. It's because she's never done anything poorly in her life.
Exactly. And like she's more like they made it seem more like she's just pissed about this song so she can't get through the song. Also, it's not Impossible Woman, and that drove me crazy. Someone pointed that out on our TikTok and I was like, oh my God, you're right.
What even was that song called?
So like Miss Me More or something.
What is that?
Why wouldn't you just make it Impossible Woman? Like I don't understand these changes with these songs.
That was real. That also was just really dumb because clearly it's inspired by when he finds her at the party after being fucked up, but she doesn't even look intoxicated. Can we talk about when he says to her, like, it was so out of nowhere when he goes, how many pills do you take a day? I'm like, have we seen her take pills yet? Maybe once?
Or twice.
Maybe once or twice. And I was like, that they should have just at least interjected 5 more times of her taking pills. Even just a brief second,
100%.
because then that line would have landed, hit, and made a lot more sense.
It's like they're giving only verbal cues to the substance abuse in this show. And maybe it's because they want it to be like sanitized and clean for TV.
I agree.
But like, I'm sorry, then why are you making this show? It's a show about drugs.
Yeah.
It's literally a show about drugs. Like that's why I said HBO should have made the show. And
because that I was thinking earlier, I was like, the reason why, maybe they're trying to make it more palatable, but I'm like, but everybody fucking loves Euphoria.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, my impression of like Daisy doing drugs in the show is very like, it's like, like she's like very like, I need a pill. Like,
wait 1 second, let me just pop a Klonopin. That's like me taking my. It's like me taking my Klonopin. But like in this fucking show.
I feel like in the book, it's more like, oh, like I'm doing this. I'm looking at my phone. I'm taking a pill. I'm doing
her taking pills in the book is like me drinking my Diet Coke.
Exactly. Like they could have. There are a million opportunities to slip that substance abuse in, and it's the same thing that they did with Billy's substance abuse. We only ever heard him messed up over the phone. We saw him do drugs once, and I'm not saying that they need to be showing drug use like a ton. But it's like you can't sweep the premise of this entire show under the rug. The premise is not just music.
Yeah.
It's temptation versus not temptation. And for them to fully eliminate a big role of temptation or where this
and the root. It's the root of everything.
The root of everything.
And it's barely there.
Barely there.
Yeah.
And like they rush so much. Everything is so rushed.
I feel like they could have done like 2 more episodes. I don't know why they had to really squish it all into, what, 8? Is it?
I mean, they put the first half of
9?
the book
I don't
into 2 episodes. It's 10 episodes.
It's 10?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's more than enough
But
time.
they could have done 12.
Totally.
Easily, and people would have fucking loved it.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I don't know how that stuff works, though.
No.
There's probably a million different reasons why you can't do 12 episodes, so I don't know. I know nothing.
What do you think about, so Riley Keough never sang before this show.
Yeah.
And she did a lot of like voice training. And I know like you're obviously someone who trains her voice.
Yeah.
And, you know, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, she sounds pretty good for somebody that if you haven't sung in your entire life.
Yeah.
My question is, why didn't they choose an actress that did sing?
Yeah. I felt the same way about Billy. Like he is giving as Billy, but like Sam Claflin's voice is just, it's not.
It's fine.
It's fine. I just think it would make, again, it would add like a level of grit if like when, I loved that scene when the power goes out and the lights are out and the piano's out and they're like singing and jamming. I thought that was really cool and it felt like really true to like what a band would be doing at that time.
Totally.
It was funny because my roommate was like, but do people just like sing at parties? I'm like, oh well, you never did theater, like you know,
Yeah,
theater
yeah,
after
yeah.
party where people are just like singing.
100%.
But that could have been a really cool moment if they had been like awesome singers to like be like, oh, the talent here.
Yeah, and I think it would have been cool, like especially if they were really fantastic. Not to say that they're not good. They're definitely good, especially if they weren't, you know, singing their entire lives constantly.
Mhm.
They're really good. But it would have been super cool if it could be something similar to, you know, how like Les Mis was filmed where they actually were mic'd up the entire time.
Yes.
And it's like we could have maybe actually had something where they were really singing.
I think about
And that
all
would have
the
been
time.
super, super cool.
Yeah.
And different. And
Yeah.
it would have added a little bit of
Layer, a little
something.
space.
A little something.
A little something, something.
So, you know, that would have been great. But with singing though, I think it is something you either have it or you don't as far as the raw talent.
Mhm.
So I think both of them have nice voices and were fortunately able to get great training
Mhm.
to prepare for these roles. And it's pretty good. But it's not, I mean, you know, it's not like somebody that has been doing it their entire life is absolutely, that's all they do. Like, of course not.
It's interesting that you brought up the Les Mis point because it's kind of like the difference between like the you know actual musicians and singers and not. Like I see that with Suki Waterhouse in this. It's like kind of like, oh, she kind of should be maybe Daisy because she actually has a really great singing voice, is an amazing musician. And you brought up Les Mis as an example, and I always thought about that with the difference between like Amanda Seyfried and Samantha Barks or Eddie Redmayne and
Aaron
Tveit. Eddie, it's the oracle.
I was thinking about that though.
This whole show is the oracle of Aaron Tveit. We're always going to find a way to bring it back into things.
Could Aaron Tveit have played Billy?
Imagine. Wow.
I would have thrown up.
I just threw up when you said that.
This show, I mean, I love Sam Claflin. He's so fucking hot. But if Aaron Tveit played Billy,
Mm-hmm.
if we
And-
could have gotten him with like some nice wavy curls.
And just like his voice would be enough for the show to be like win an Emmy. Like I'm having a visceral reaction.
Now I'm like, why didn't they cast Aaron Tveit as Billy? I wonder if he auditioned.
I wonder, maybe he's
Aaron?
still doing Moulin Rouge at the time, probably. Because
He was,
probably-
but if you fucking booked that, you would leave.
yeah, you'd take some time.
It also was over COVID.
Yeah,
But they got cast right before COVID. Then COVID happened. Then they
Right.
filmed after.
right.
So, but now I'm just
Wow.
thinking about that. But
I'm never
also,
gonna stop thinking
maybe
about
he's
that.
maybe he's just not right for it, obviously. But like I am obsessed with
I love
him,
that
and I
take.
think that he can do no wrong. And I think that would have been fucking sick if he was.
Like think about if every member of that band had that caliber of talent that like Aaron had. If he was Billy and
He's
like
just-
I don't
yeah.
know, I'm trying to think of like a female counterpart that like I'm like, oh, she's that talented.
That would fit the role of
Daisy. Like who would
It's
be like,
tough.
like who would be like a sick counterpart? I don't know.
I don't know, honestly. I wrote something down that I
that I thought was crazy, and I forget where it is.
Oh my God, I know exactly what it is.
I'm so excited to hear.
Daisy does not seem like a drug addict. She seems like she has a lack of social cues.
No, literally.
Like she'll walk into a room and like they're clearly talking, and then she'll just start talking.
Yeah.
And it's like they're trying to portray that as a drug addict, and I'm like, no, she literally just seems like she has no
or
social
confidence
cues.
or cockiness, but it's like literally, yeah, no, 100%.
It's like Billy was like telling everybody, he's like, okay, guys, so we're gonna do this, and so I thought that we should do that, and he's like, why did you just start talking?
And she goes, sorry to cut you off.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. It's like, girl,
Yeah,
girl, be fucking for real. She just seems like she has a lack of social cues, and I just thought that was so funny because I'm just like, you don't seem like you're on drugs. You just seem like
Weird.
it might be a little weird.
She does turn to Karen at one point when Karen bails her out of jail, and it's like, Karen's like, you really don't have anyone else to like bail you out of jail. You're from here. And she just looks at Karen and goes, I'm from Mars, Karen.
Did she say that?
She's like, I'm not from anywhere. I'm from Mars. It's like,
Wait.
okay.
God, I don't think she says that in the book.
Yeah,
I don't think that's in there.
like
I also feel like she wouldn't say something like that.
no, not
Like
at all.
I don't other people would say that about her.
I don't think Daisy knew she didn't belong. She just didn't. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So, back to Karen. One plotline I'm really loving the way they're doing on the show is Karen and Graham's.
Obsessed.
It's really cute. Like,
yeah.
I think that it was kind of fun that, like, you know, their relationship didn't have enough to it in the book for me to be like, to care about any changes.
I wasn't as attached to their relationship in the book as I am in the TV show.
Yes. So, and I think that's because it was a little bit of a slow burn. Like, they did a good job
Definitely.
of like making us want it to happen
Mm-hmm.
versus like in the book, it just like happened as like a side story.
Yes,
I-
it was a lot more of a side story. This is more like the in musical theater, there's one main love story and then like I forget what it's called. I know there's a name for it, but like the side love story. And that's what this
the
is.
supplemental.
And I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just made me think of in Moulin Rouge, Bad Romance. When
Yes,
it's
exactly.
Like that, like,
literally, quite literally.
and I liked that he wanted her first, but then he went with another girl and she got jealous.
I loved that.
And then it kind of made it like more exciting when they got together. So I think that they're doing a good job with that.
But with
storyline.
that though, like, did they just leave her in the car?
I couldn't.
Did
stop
they
thinking
just
about
leave
that.
her in the car?
Couldn't stop thinking
Like-
about it when the others got home and it was dark out and they were still making out on the couch. I was like, where is the girl in the car? Did she go home?
He had to. Yeah, he definitely like took a break and just told her, "Hey, I'm not feeling well."
I hope so.
That had to be the plot.
I
line.
mean, we have
right?
Michael and I talked about this, but like them calling Graham Peaches. We were like, what?
I didn't even notice.
Like, let's give him a little nickname.
I didn't even notice that, and it seems quite weird. I love him though. I'm falling in love with him, and I
Yes,
don't know.
adorable.
Is it the actor, or is it the character?
I think it's a little bit of both because I'm not like in love with him in his like 20 years later interview. He's
Agreed.
just, like, but
Yes.
he's adorable.
But
in
he's
this.
so great, which is interesting
Yeah.
because he's the only character that seems super different in his 20 years later
Mhm.
interview.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Camila seems quite bitter in her 20 years later interview,
Yes.
which in the book, she doesn't really seem bitter at all.
I mean, I can't stop asking myself the entire time I'm watching this, like, will they have that letter at the end? Like, first of all, are they going to have her pass away? And is she going to have that letter to her daughter or daughters?
They have to.
And
If they
have her-
don't, I will be upset.
Yeah, like and to me, the way that she is acting in these interviews, she seems bitter. So it doesn't seem
Mhm.
like she would be like, oh, tell your dad to call Daisy Jones when I die. Like, I think
And if she did, it would be a diss. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be a genuine.
it wouldn't be genuine.
Yeah.
And I do think they did a little bit more of like the Camilla's quiet power in episode 3 when she was trying to like pull the strings to get Billy to take Daisy into the band and like pull the strings to get Graham to make a move on Karen. Like, you see her kind of being like a puppet master. But then they just kind of sweep that to the side so fast.
Mhm.
And I will say I like the line where it's like, I don't think I need to say this, but I'm going to just in case. Like, we're a family. And she basically, like, to me, it was like she was threatened from by Daisy from day one.
Yeah, and
Which
that
was
was
weird.
weird. But was she though? Because she's the one that invited her to the party.
I know, but maybe
But was she
loves-
doing that?
for Billy because she loves him so much and wants him to be successful and wants his dream to come true. Like I'm starting to
Or
get the
was
sense
it to
more.
keep her eyes on them? I don't know.
It's a good point.
It's weird.
That's a really
It's
good
interesting
point.
and it's weird. We haven't talked about it yet.
The elephant in the room.
Eddie and Camila.
Guys, what happened?
They totally fucked.
You think they fucked?
You don't think so?
Or maybe they kissed? I don't know.
No, they absolute 100,000%. She came back with her hair.
Her hair was
tousled.
okay. Yes.
She was like this, and she's like,
And then I
just had dinner with a friend.
literally at another moment of like one of the few moments that the interviews added something. She goes, I deserve to have a secret of my own.
Exactly,
And I was
and
like,
that
okay.
I think that says that they did something. But so
Yeah.
then, and if they did, which I do think they did, I'm like, wait a minute, you're kind of worse than Billy, or is she?
Or is she? But in the book,
Is she?
Okay, it's just different, right? Oh wait,
It's different cheating.
I-
It's the difference between emotional cheating and physical cheating.
But Billy did kind of physically cheat, not to the extent he just kissed Daisy, but like in the show there is a physical aspect more than in the book. And in the
Yes.
book, remember Gary or Greg?
Yes.
So like she
So
had
that's basically we're making Eddie that character
that
now.
character, which I thought was an interesting choice.
I actually think I like it better
I like it
because it
like
makes sense why he resents Billy so much.
Eddie gets pissed because Billy bulldozes, but also there's so much more there. Like it's one of those situations that like even if Billy was doing nothing wrong, Eddie would probably still hate
He
Billy.
would still resent him.
And I think that's interesting.
Especially that line where he says some people just don't realize how lucky they are.
Yeah. And he said, I choose you over Eddie to Camila. I choose you over everything. And she was just like, I probably had a moment where she was like, my husband doesn't do that. So
Totally.
and when this
What?
cracked me up, when Billy gets to the studio the next day, you just see Eddie walk in and he goes, hey.
So funny. He's just like,
He's like, oh,
oh
180.
my God. I'm like, whoa. So like, could you be more obvious?
Yeah. but
Could
then
you?
Billy would never put that together.
Never.
Like,
Never, ever, 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 ever.
So,
So that's a testament to his cockiness.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And his ego.
We did see a little more, I think, of Book Karen, too, in recent episodes. She said to Graham at the photo shoot, like, I work too hard and I'm too damn good to be known as the girlfriend from the Six.
True.
And I think that was very, like, Karen in the book. Like, she was just like, this isn't what, like, I want to be known for me. I'm good. I don't want to be known for being hot either. And
Totally.
it was very authentic.
Yeah. But it makes me sad, though, that she really doesn't want to let people know that they're together. And I understand it for that
Makes me
reason.
sad for Graham, yeah.
But it makes me sad for him because I'm like, oh, like
I know.
he's so obsessed
Sweet
with
boy.
her.
I
So
wonder-
obsessed with her. I want a boy to be that obsessed with me.
I know.
Right?
Well, and it's like in the book when she would look at what Camila and Billy had, which I think we're just losing some of those subtleties of like, yes, Daisy and Billy are twin flames, but like also Billy is part of a half with Camila too in a lot of ways. Like the squeezing of his lime into her drink because she like 2 limes in her drink, like that was in the book, and like just little things like that were thoughtful that showed that like he cared about like making her happy in the simple ways that Camila wanted to be made happy because she doesn't take a lot. Like she really just like all she wants to do is like raise children and stuff. So I think we lose a lot of that.
Yeah. Their relationship is not as fleshed out and developed as I would like it to be. And their love really isn't there. And in the show, it makes me want him to be with Daisy a little bit more.
I know.
And that is kind of like, I mean, realistically, do I really want that? No, but like if they're not working, which that's the way it seems in the show, but it was not that way in the book, then I'm just like, well, just leave.
What's the conflict here? What's the
you guys
dilemma?
aren't working.
Yeah.
And that's what it's giving in the show. It's just showing a relationship that's falling apart that isn't working
maybe let's, I don't know, break up.
Yeah. Well, also, you know, the fact that in the book they go on to have more kids during like this part of the band like shows that like, you know, they're still, you know, sexually active.
Still getting it on.
Still getting it on.
Meanwhile, like every time that he comes home, they just go to sleep.
Exactly.
So
I think we just lose a lot of like the layers to that. We kind of touched on this scene, the way that they did the Daisy stepping on glass. Like definition of a rush scene too. Like it was supposed to be like she's working the party and she's walking around on this glass. Like she just got out of the pool and was like, oops.
it also didn't show Billy's struggle of being there at all.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the main thing
Yeah.
about him going to that party.
Yes.
Was that struggle that he was feeling, and that's why he had to leave. But that was not depicted in the show.
No.
I don't really know how that could have been depicted. That could have been a really great part where the interview could have really helped with that. Where he could have said, the temptation was too great, I had to leave.
They have such an easy tool in these interviews to be telling some more dynamic parts of the story, and they're just not using it.
That sucks. I wonder why. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know what happened there. That sucks because that would have been a good addition.
It would be.
Yeah.
Well, we have 4 more episodes to go.
Woohoo!
2 more.
I like it. I think that because I saw one comment that was like, no one can like anything these days.
Yeah.
I was like, guys, it's not that we don't like it. I'm obsessed with it.
No, we're not haters.
I love it. I'm not a hater at all. We're just having a conversation about it and, you know, talking about the differences between the book and the TV show and just diving deeper into it because we're little fangirls and excited about it. But I love it. I'm really thoroughly enjoying it. I mean,
we
really
wouldn't still be talking about it if we actually hated it. Like we're still watching.
I would be done. I would be like, can we just not?
Yeah.
Can we just move on?
Exactly. Like I think we're but it is just an interesting show to pick apart. So, you know, we'll definitely have more to say on the next 2 episodes.
Totally.
And in the meantime, keep engaging with our TikToks. We love your discourse.
Mm-hmm.
DM us if you have questions or thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I love kind of like taking in everyone's feedback because I feel like everyone just made me like every comment that I saw made me think about things in a new way.
Yeah.
Like,
totally. 100%. Yeah.
So I think that we want to keep hearing from you guys. And
Absolutely.
we will see you next Monday.
Sounds good. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for listening to Dramatic Effect.
You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Dramatic Effect Podcast. And don't forget to leave a rating and review. Love you guys.
Bye.